We describe knockdowns by 3 different degrees. A first degree knockdown is what we call a flash knockdown. He may have been off balance, the punch may not have been hard, and he goes down. He jumps right back up. A second degree knockdown is when a fighter gets hit and he goes down just a little harder than the first degree knockdown. You can tell from that knockdown he's a little shaken up. When that fighter stands back up, I will address him and ask him, are you okay? And that's to get a response. If he responds, motion him to come to me. If he does that, the third thing I'll do is put my hands out and ask him to put his gloves in my hands. A third degree knockdown is when a fighter goes down and he had no control at all in trying to catch himself. He goes down hard, and now I have to make a decision on if I'm going to stop it or let it continue. If he doesn't show me anything, I'm going to step in and I'm going to stop it.
Manny Pacquiao is 40 years old. He's earned $419 million in the ring. He's a senator with a chance to be president. What on earth is he doing stepping into the ring with a 29-year-old Adrian Broner?
I've seen a lot of fighters, like, because I have Parkinson's, and I've seen signs of it in other fighters and so forth, and I've suggested that they maybe retire and so forth, and usually I don't get a good answer back.
Nothing's changed. There's no difference. I mean, I feel the same, especially how I work hard and how I feel my body, but there's a little bit adjustment for preparation. Especially at the age of 40.
If he shows signs of that, I would tell him right away and so forth. But the thing is, he's not even close to that. I mean, he's still a young man at heart, and you know, he can still do this. I mean, it's really unusual, but the thing is, at 40, he's as good as he was at 30 and 20.
How I discipline myself is the most important thing. Being a fighter, I have to work hard, of course. I mean, don't get lazy. I mean, the fire is still there.
I'll tell you one thing about Pacquiao, he was, no matter what time he was around here, he was one of the best combinations I've seen of pure speed and power. He had that combination, you know, what you want to call him. He had a lot of quick twitch fiber muscles, whatever, but this was a guy that speed and power, that combination was at a level where you don't see it in too many fighters or too many athletes. And he was pretty special just from a physical standpoint of having that. And obviously he fought with a tenacity. With a hunger.
Boxers at Pacquiao's level may possess great prowess in the ring, but they are often infamous for making bad decisions around finance and the people they surround themselves with. tax liabilities, and a huge entourage to support, Pacquiao may be under greater pressure than we know to continue boxing, to continue chasing the big paydays. But has the Pac-Man bitten off more than he can chew?
And when you have been fighting at the level that Manny has been fighting for most of his career, it's very intoxicating to be in the spotlight. It's very intoxicating to be making this money and to have all this attention. And it's hard to give it up unless you've got a plan B, which a lot of smart athletes, do. In Manny's case, I think he needs to examine the reasons why he's still fighting. If he's still enjoying it and he's still productive, well, that's one thing. If he's doing it because he has to, financially, well then, that's never the best reason to do anything. Because sometimes you make bad decisions if you need money.
There are only 3 fighters in the history of boxing. Marvelous Marvin Hagler was the first, Lennox Lewis was the second. Vladimir Klitschko, for the time being, if he sticks with it, is the third. Gennady Golovkin, if he chooses not to go to a third fight with Canelo Alvarez, could become the fourth, who have walked away from a guaranteed 8-figure payday. And I don't think Manny Pacquiao is capable of staying away from large guaranteed paydays. If there's another 8-figure, or in this case 9-figure payday out there for him against Floyd Mayweather, I believe, yes, he will do that.
I've been pushing myself to the limit more than 20 years. I mean, every fight that I had in preparation, if you ask me about how I prepare, how I train, I work hard. My coaches, they even stop me. I mean, they never say to me, push more round, but instead the other way, they stop me. Enough, that's enough, that's enough. But I want to do more. I'm a passive thinker. If you want to win, if you want to have a good fight, then work hard. Push yourself to the limit and punish yourself. In a business, that's your investment, to work hard. That's your capital. That's your capital in boxing. If you get lazy, then you bear that in the ring, in the fight.
What does he do best? And that's box. He's always going to go back to the boxing because this is what he does best, and this is what got him where he is today. Without boxing, he's not there.
The thing about boxing is he can get you all the things you wanted to get you, fame and fortune and out from under a difficult situation, which a lot of things in life can. And there's a risk for everything. If it's not a risk physically, it's a risk emotionally. There's always a risk. And boxing has that risk. You have to know when to get out.
The question remains, what can the Pac-Man possibly have left to prove? Why keep fighting? Why tempt fate? Just how much punishment can the body take?
I always say, you don't really age a guy or judge a guy's age in boxing chronologically. You really judge it by the amount of fights, the amount of punches he's taken. You have a sponge, and the sponge absorbs so much water, and it absorbs it. I mean, it picks up all the water on the counter, but it gets to a point where if you put any more water in it, water starts to spill out. It can't absorb anymore. A body can only take so much. So when you see a guy getting bothered, getting hurt by punches he didn't used to get hit with, well, he's that sponge that just can't take it anymore. He can't retain that kind of punishment anymore. And it comes off in a way where there's less endurance physically, less resistance physically. And again, his ability to endure, even though you don't want to see a guy getting hit, you want to see a guy avoiding punches, but his legs, those are some of the physical signs that tell you a guy is getting near that place that place where he shouldn't be in the business anymore. And then of course there's reactionary things, the reflexes. Does he see the punches coming the way he used to? Does he react to them with the quickness that he used to? His reflexes, are they there? And again, those are all things that betray you as an athlete and definitely as a fighter as you get older.
Freddie Roach, when he trained him, said if I ever saw him, they had an agreement that if Freddie ever saw him slipping, he would tell him it's over, and Manny would agree.
He promised me that when I tell him to quit, he will. I think someday we'll have a conversation.
It's not just the punches he's taking in the ring for the fights we see, it's the punches he's taking in training, which could be 8 weeks at a time for all those fights leading up. So it's a lot of punishment, and it's a big toll on the body.
It's sad for people who follow boxing to watch great fighters fight too long. We'd much rather that they retire like Lennox Lewis did, when they still have more good fights in them. Not enough people do it, and we're spared watching their dissolution. Is Manny Pacquiao still a world-class fighter? Yes. Is he the Manny Pacquiao we remember who set the world on fire? No.
Pacquiao's victory over Matisse may have prolonged the inevitable exit and bought the Pac-Man a little bit more time. But many of boxing's critics and fans around the world who once held Pacquiao in the highest esteem now seem to be losing interest. In some cases, they're now even taking jabs at the Pac-Man for sticking around too long. One pre-fight headline said it all.
Everything coming out of the US at the moment is negative on Pacquiao. I don't know why, but they really have turned on him. It's very strange. Yeah, I don't understand where that's coming from. But we've seen no positive press come out of the US about Pacquiao. The latest article is Pacquiao's fighting and who cares?
Now we have an answer to one of the central questions here, which is how much power does he have left?
Remember, no knockouts for Manny Pacquiao since November of 2009 against Miguel Cotto.
At 6 Arena in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and July 15th, Sunday morning in the Philippines. Now this fight is historic. 43 years.
You could put Manny Pacquiao in his prime, the Manny Pacquiao who fought Miguel Cotto, Ricky Hatton, Oscar De La Hoya, in against any fighter ever, and it would have been a competitive fight. Manny also, at the point in time when he was Manny, had this wonderful aura about him. He was a feel-good story. He fought for the Filipino people. He was a gracious, elegant man. We've lost a lot of that in recent years. He has supported some very repressive political elements. He has said some very intemperate, intolerant things about homosexuality. He has fought too long. But in his prime, Manny was a great champion.
The most violent whirlwind offensive machine of his generation went a decade without knocking anybody out is sufficient to tell you that he's way beyond his peak. And he is absolutely tempting fate with his reputation by fighting this way. I mean, he's certainly flirting with the deterioration of his public image, both in that way and in his very public and seemingly affectionate association with a violent dictator in the Philippines who is seen as one of the world's most reprehensible governmental strongmen. The fact that Manny is an ally of Duterte does him no credit and certainly threatens his reputation, particularly over here in this part of the world.
Manny Pacquiao is the only boxer to ever win a world title in half of the sport's original 8 weight classes. He certainly earned his place in boxing's Hall of Fame. All those who thought he'd lose against Matisse have been proven wrong. But what next? Does he fight on until he receives a brutal beating? Or does he take the advice of those who have his best interests at heart and take a final bow while he still has his brain intact? When questioned on the subject of retiring, the Pac-Man remains defiant.
I am a fighter that I want to stay there. I want my name is in the top always, and I'm happy giving honor to my country, giving exciting fight to the fans. I mean, that's my desire. I mean, giving enjoyment, happiness to the fans, especially to the Filipino people. I'm enjoying keep on punching while I'm serving people.
When Manny fought in Australia, we didn't talk for a long time after that because I said, Manny, you know, being a senator and being a world champion are just really, really difficult. I says, you know, but Manny likes to put everything together, and you know, he's a very active, busy person. And you know, I thought maybe at that point that like maybe you should give up one or the other, and it didn't sit well with him.
Selfishly, I love watching him fight because he's a lot of fun. But personally, I would love to see him say goodbye and enjoy his act too, which is, you know, public service. And now he's a senator, and there's talk about future endeavors, moving up in politics. So, and he's got a terrific family. He's got kids of all ages. I want him to enjoy all that and you know, be happy. So, and I want them to enjoy him at his best.
It's very hard to tell somebody else when to retire. Frank Sinatra sang long past the time when he was Frank Sinatra. The difference is that Frank Sinatra wasn't taking concussive blows to the brain. So what troubles me when I see Manny Pacquiao fighting today is the same thing that troubled me when I saw Muhammad Ali fighting against Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick, when I saw Sugar Ray Leonard fighting against Hector Camacho and Terry Norris, is you're getting hit in the head. You're suffering brain damage. And you can suffer brain damage at any age at fighting. The longer you go, the more you get hit, the more susceptible you are to damage. So it saddens me. That's a decision Manny Pacquiao has to make. And then you have to look also at the enablers, the people who encourage this, who allow this. You know, so am I the person to tell Manny Pacquiao, you have to retire? No, but I don't think it's going to end well. And that saddens me, because Manny should have been one of the guys who got out on top, healthy and well.